Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles. I want to welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment, and where we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And boy, oh boy, we got one of them episodes here today. So before we get into it, make sure you go and like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, I already know that this video is going to trigger a lot of people in the comment section, but this is what sports is all about, and we got to do it. We have to do it. I was recently listening to an episode of, The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. And they were there basically reacting to some of the comments that some of the best players in the world currently right now in the world had to say about this current NBA. And in specific, they were talking about Nikola Jokic, who's the MVP, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Luka Doncic. And after listening to those comments, for whatever reason, Chris Broussard seemed to have a eureka moment. And he started to say a bunch of different things about Michael Jordan that made me think, this could be something interesting for us to produce here. So for those of you who didn't hear what Chris Broussard had to say, we want to play what he had to say now, and then we're going to come back and react to it. So take a listen to that.
This is a problem because these are the best players in the league. These aren't like, Rasho Nesterovic, Ricky Rubio saying that. Luka Doncic, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Nikola Jokic, Rob, are three of the best 7 players in the world. And they are telling you this is easier. And here's the interesting thing, Rob. If you listen to what they're saying, Giannis said the floor is not as spread. So did Jokic, right? It's not as spread out. So what they mean is there's more bodies in the paint. The floor over there is a little bit smaller, so obviously it's not going to be as spread out. And the three-point line is shorter, so the bodies aren't as far away from the basket. So what they're saying is there's more people in the lane. It's not as spread out as the NBA. It's more physical than the NBA. You can get, you can body cats. You gotta think more, and there's more. Luka threw in. There's more team basketball in Europe. Rob, call me crazy, but you know what that sounds like? The old NBA, right? Michael Jordan's NBA, Magic Johnson's NBA.
You mean the one, Chris, the NBA that all the youngins and the Rob Guerras, the Rob G's disrespect and act like nobody could play? Those guys?
That NBA. Yes.
Yes. Because it's Charmin soft. But we tell you every day. Chris and I it's easy to score in the NBA.
Easy.
Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. Those numbers are fraudulent. They are.
It's easy, Rob. When we say Michael Jordan could average 40 today, that's not hyperbole. I mean it. I'm not saying he'd average 40 for his career, but he would have seasons where he averaged 40 points.
Chris, I think that's not even a stretch. If he averaged 30, right?
37 one year, 35 right. Another.
But if you add 3 or 4 3-pointers in the mix, that's all you're talking about.
Right there.
That gives you 40.
Not to mention all the pounding he took, you wouldn't have to take.
Right. Every time you touch the guy, foul.
Right. I
mean, let's be honest. The league, Chris, moved to this. They wanted more offense. They wanted to make the games more high scoring. I remember I was in Detroit when the Pistons held 13 opponents in a row under 75 points. Chris, do you remember that?
Yeah. And I'm not trying to go back that far. But,
no, I'm just saying.
Right. There's a happy medium. But
I'm just saying,
right.
but the league didn't want that.
It was physical. Right.
It was physical. Right.
So you heard what he had to say him and Rob Parker. And to be honest with you, no one should be surprised by this. No one should be surprised by it. The only people that are surprised about what he said are the people out there still fighting the good fight, man. And these guys, they're there, man. They're commenting on videos. But what about this? People act like the NBA started in 90. Like, this is what they say. right? Like they're just out there holding on to, just hanging on for dear life. We even put up a poll on our channel before we did this video. And the question was, who would win in a series between the 96 Bulls and the 2017 Warriors? Of the 1,600, 2,000 people that have voted, over 70% of them said that the Chicago Bulls would win that series. And I will tell you why the Bulls would win that series. Handily, by the way. I'm going to tell you guys why. First of all, the Bulls will have the best player in that series by far. In Michael Jordan, that's number one. Number two, they will have the better coach. Number three, they would have all the better defenders. This is not even up for discussion. They have Michael Jordan, Ron Harper, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, period, end of story. Case closed. Not even up for discussion. Don't even bring up Draymond Green. That's another point. They would have more length than those guys, especially on the perimeter, given the fact that Golden State Warriors offense is generated by players that play on the perimeter. They don't have really an interior scoring presence or threat. That's another thing. They will also have the best rebounder in that series by 15,000 miles in Dennis Rodman. And I think that if you put Michael Jordan in this current NBA and say, Jordan, go play against that team, Michael Jordan would average about 45 points a game in that series, period, end of story. Period, end of story. No need to discuss this thing any further. And if you dared to put that 2017 Golden State Warriors in the 90s, and you will bring in hand checking, hard fouls, no freedom of movement, those guys will get stifled. Now, some of you guys will say, man, you up here twerking it up for MJ. No, I'm not. How do you know that? Because we literally just saw this take place a few months ago. Some of you are like, no, we didn't. No, yes, we did. When did we see this take place? If you guys remember, the Boston Celtics played against the Brooklyn Nets in round one, against the most talented back or duo, whatever it is, in NBA history. Kyrie Irving is more skilled than ever. Kyrie, whatever. And all of these different things. And what happened? The referees allowed the Boston Celtics to essentially do what? Play physical defense. And everybody started saying, including Chris Broussard, started saying that, wait a minute, what you're seeing here is that the Boston Celtics are playing 90s defense. And what exactly happened? They were stifled. I'm talking about Kevin Durant and these guys. Now imagine swapping out those defenders and offensive players with Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Ron Harper, and all of these cats. It wouldn't even be funny. It wouldn't even be funny. Here's my verdict on the situation here. If the Bulls played the 2017 Golden State Warriors in this era, they would win that series in 6 games. If the Golden State Warriors, 2017 Golden State Warriors, went to the 90s to go play those Bulls, they would beat them in 5 games. And I'm only saying 5 because I want to be nice. I am sorry, but that team was just way better. Go look at all the numbers. Go look at all the defensive ratings. And Jordan was just a better player. Period, end of story. The premium that Michael Jordan gives you is greater than any premium you can get from any basketball player that has ever played in the NBA. Period, end of discussion. And that's the reason why I think the Bulls win handily. Case closed. Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you all on the next episode. Peace.